But I'll move along. All right, now, what do the words gather, gathered, or gathering teach us about the return of Jesus? Luke 17:32, remember Lot's wife. You start again. Remember Lot's wife. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. I tell you, in the night there shall be two men in one bed, and one shall be taken, the tare, and the other shall be left, the wheat. Two men shall be grinding together, the tare, one taken, the other left, the wheat. Two men shall be in the field, one shall be taken, the other left. And they answered and said unto him, Where, Lord? And he said unto them, Wheresoever the body is, there will the eagles be gathered. And that particular verse talking about the eagles being gathered is referring to the gathering of Armageddon. Multitudes in the valley of decision. That's the valley of Megiddo, overlooked by Mount Megiddo. The valley of Jezreel, overlooked by Mount Megiddo. I was there about 3 months ago. Is this a picture of the gathering? John 6:10. And Jesus said, Make the men to sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, so that the men sat down in number about 5,000. And Jesus took the wheat, the loaves, representing the wheat, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples to them that were sat down, and likewise the fishes as much as they would. And they were all filled. Now, if you were filled, that means that's not a picture of a pre-trib or a mid-trib, but a post-trib rapture. And they were all filled. He said unto his disciples, Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Once again, it's another picture of the end of time. We're still continuing to investigate the words gather, gathered, and gathering. John 15:1. I am the true vine, my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Brothers and sisters, you want to know why God's sending the testing, the tribulation, the 7 years of trials? So that the church will bear fruit. So that the people will come into the kingdom. So that they'll come out of the world. Now ye are clean through the world, which I have spoken to you. Abide me and I in you, and the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine. No more can ye except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit, for without me he can do nothing. John 15:6. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them, keyword gather, keep in mind that, gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, you can ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. So we see that gathering is associated with fire, burned, abiding in me. He said, all of this so that your joy may be full. Continuing to research the word gather. Revelation 14:15. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice, and said to him that sat upon the cloud. Notice the word cloud. Thrust in thy sickle. Again, we're talking about the end of the earth. And the reap, for the time has come for thee to reap, and the harvest of the earth is ripe. You don't harvest until things are ripe, at the very end. And he that sat upon the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, so that the earth was reaped. Again, all end time, end of time, all harvest words. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the altar which had power over the fire, and cried with a loud cry unto him that had a sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. All of this is pointing to an end time return for Jesus. And when he returns, no one gets saved. So these folks that think, well, you need to leave these left behind books and left behind videos around for your loved ones so when everybody disappears and they can get saved, are just wrong. When Jesus returns, it's over. The judgment is set. The books are open. The beast is slain. It's over. Gathered and gathering. Still continuing research. Revelation 14:9. The flesh of kings and the flesh of captains, the flesh of mighty men, the flesh of horses and them that sat upon them, the flesh of all men, both free and bond, small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat upon the throne and his army. And let me just tell you, they're going to lose big time. All right, now let's talk about left behind. This is the belief that once those left behind see people see the people or the believers missing, then they will believe and they will get saved. This is the reason you're supposed to buy their books and their videos, get them in the hand of your friends, so that when you're gone, they'll know what happened and they'll realize that the Bible is true, and they'll realize that Jesus is their Lord and Savior, and that's the reason they're going to get saved. And I hate to bust your bubble, but it's not going to happen that way. Question: was it possible to get saved once the door was shut? Luke 17:26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. And the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. What did that just tell us, brothers and sisters? That told us that once the door of the ark was shut, no one got saved. Once the day that Lot was taken out of Sodom and Gomorrah, there was no one saved. And when Jesus returns, there will be no one saved. The judgment is set. The books are opened. The beast is slain. Jesus returns on the clouds, and it's over. Matthew 25:7. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready, in other words, those that don't have spot or wrinkle, went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. Notice who came to the door? Virgins. What's a virgin? It's one that has not gone after another god. Brothers and sisters, these are Christians. These are Christians that had spots and wrinkles, and maybe they didn't even have a wedding dress. Afterward, the virgins saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. And he answered and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I know you not. Can someone get saved after Jesus returns? The answer is no. False teachers. I believe that people that teach a pre-trib rapture may be doing a great disservice. I'm saying that kindly. 2 Peter 2:10. But there were false prophets. Now, let me just tell you what a false prophet is. Here's what the church believes a false prophet is. They believe if you prophesy something's going to come and it doesn't come, you're a false prophet. That's not an accurate description. A false prophet means acting divinely inspired when you're not. Could that mean that if a pastor stands in the position of a pastor behind a pulpit and preaches pre-trib and he's wrong, that he's a false prophet? They're serious. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers. All right, now, what is a false teacher? That is teaching bad choices. That's the exact, direct translation from the Greek. Teaching bad choices. Once again, someone teaching pre-trib may be teaching bad choices. May not mean that they intend to, but maybe that's what they're doing. False teachers among you who privily shall bring in damnable heresies. Now, damnable means destroying heresies. Privily, what does that mean? In other words, they're not meaning to do it. They're just doing it because they made a mistake. But nevertheless, as a pastor, I'm held accountable for what I preach and teach. So I'm just saying to you pastors that are watching this video or DVD, be careful of what you teach, because you may be teaching damnable or destroying heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. It could be that because you've taught the wrong thing and you believe the wrong thing, that you yourself may be a castaway when there's no pre-trib rapture and you yourself find yourself with the choice of losing your head or tail.